school are we at here today in Taiwan? What is the name of the school?
We're at the Mandarin Experimental Primary School.
Okay, and what is your name and what do you teach?
My name is Shaojun and I teach English here.
English? And what about you?
Teacher in the research office.
Okay, in the research room. Make sure you speak up. And what about you?
I'm a principal.
You're the principal?
Yes.
Okay, and what is your name?
My name is Maybe.
Typically, the people here in Taiwan, which are Chinese, why do they take education so seriously?
If kids can get good education, then they can expect a good future.
Okay.
Better development in their future.
So education equals a better future.
Yeah.
Okay. I've read a little bit about the Confucius philosophy and Confucianism. Does this play much role into this thinking? You know, the respect of teacher, respect of to value education. Does Confucianism play a role into this, or?
就像就是我们的儒家孔子的学说，还是有在尊敬啊，尊敬。
有的，我想儒家学说有非常强调情
Rooted.
Yeah, in our thinking, it's like ethnics.
Sure.
Like how you can just work hard.
Right. Work hard.
and,
Mannerisms.
respect.
Respect.
Respect to the elders, to the teachers.
Do you ever, in any of the classes here
Mhm.
or in school, do they ever teach anything about ethics and Confucius type of philosophy?
我们现在有教孔子或是一些伦理。
没有特别正式的教导。
Not formal class, but sometimes just every week we have an ethnic. And we will just tell students, and we hope to just immerse it in the class. Just during the teach
Right.
The homeroom teachers,
Right.
and we just share these kind of values to students.
But it sounds to me like a lot of this is being done at home anyways, right? The parents are
在家里 yeah.
right.
Yeah.
像父母都会说，你要做完功课才能去玩，就是勤学，就是你得把这个放为第一重要的事情。
Yeah, like the parents, they just like all the kids know that you have to finish your homework.
Right.
Then you can go out and play.
Okay.
So that's the basic.
All right.
Basic.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about poverty. Now, when you were growing up, I don't know if you grew up in poverty at all, but things were much different in Taiwan when you were a child than they are now. Okay?
就是跟贫穷有关，可能现在我们成长环境跟现在小孩的成长环境已经不一样。是。
So things are easier now. The life is easier because things are more developed, would you say?
Life is easier, but in part it's more complicated.
More complicated. Right.
Yeah, because now I think kids get more resources.
Right.
Yeah, so they're really busy after school, even when they were kids. And they learn about things, and then maybe they spend more time in those computers.
Sure.
But when we were young, we just don't have so many resources to play with.
When were things really hard in this country? Like there was a lot of poverty and a lot of poor people. What year was that?
我们比较穷的时候，应该是那个经济状况比较不好。
台湾经济起
1980s.
The economic started, right?
Right. So before the 80s, it was pretty poor here.
Yeah, not very good.
Not very good. Okay. So a lot of people were poor. There was probably a lot of people in poverty, right?
Yeah.
And so what I'm getting after is that, but the country rose.
Yes.
And quite fast.
Within 2-3 decades. Yeah.
In 2 or 3 decades, this country went from a poor, kind of somewhat impoverished country to one of the most developed countries in the world, right? One of the very good economy, excellent rated educational system. So my question is, you know, some countries stay in poverty and some countries move out of poverty. And I'm trying to figure out, based on the Chinese concept, was poverty a motivator to rise up? People wanted to work harder, get more education so eventually they could have a better life? Would you say? Because in some of our ethnic groups in the United States, I'm not sure if this is the same thinking, and I'm trying to understand it from your perspective.
就是我们像以我们台湾那样中国思维，是不是那个
Go on.
贫穷会是一个激励的动机？这样我们可以就是要 if you want to, it's like blue collar,
Right.
work people. If you want to advance,
Right.
and maybe to study to go to high school, is the only way.
What I'm trying to say is, in the U.S., there are some groups of people that say, I'm poor and I'm impoverished, and so that's just the way it's going to be for me. That's the way it will be for me and my kids and their kids. But when a country has risen so quickly in a matter of a couple, 3 generations, there's a different thinking here. And so my question was, it doesn't seem like poverty was an excuse here that the people used, that this is just the way their life was going to be. The people here decided to work and use education to get out of poverty. Would you agree with me on that?
这种就是刚刚的问题还是说，如果有些美国人可能以他们的想法是，如果我们不是很穷，他可能就是这个就是这种 Aboriginal people here,
Right.
and their parents they don't think the kids need to get so much education.
Right.
Depending on their concept.
And their concept and their culture, right?
Their culture, yes.
Right. But the people that immigrated from China here, right? Many of them left China because of the revolution,
Yes.
right? They came with the concept of hard work and education, and that helped the country to rise up
Yes.
and create more opportunities. Okay. What about